From casting spells in the dark to finding light in the Quran, what makes a witch leave behind everything she's ever known for Islam? This is Abby's story, the ex-witch who found her way to Islam. Allahu Akbar. Stick around. This story is about to get real.
I was a polytheistic pagan. Well, really, I was a witch. I was practicing witchcraft. I was a part of the occult. I had thousands of dollars worth of occult items that any occultist would dream to have.
That line alone is enough to shock a viewer. How did a witch find her way to Islam? Now let's get something straight. Witchcraft is no joke. In Islam, it's linked to black magic, and we all know it's one of the biggest evils we are warned against. But somehow, Abby found her way from that darkness to the light of Islam. In the wildest part, it all started on TikTok.
And of all places where I found Islam on TikTok. Ramadan TikTok, actually, of all places.
Yeah, you heard that right. Abby first stumbled upon Islam while scrolling through TikTok, wanting to learn about Ramadan. One video turned into more, and soon enough, she couldn't ignore the pull of Islam, even though she tried. She tried to brush it off, but the more she learned, the harder it was to deny the truth. And then, Islam for Dummies happened. Yep, that's the book that piqued her curiosity and got her diving deeper into the deen. That book led her straight to the Quran, and she spent all 30 days of Ramadan reading it. And guess what? With every page, her heart softened, and her love for Islam and prayer kept growing. Before she knew it, Abby was ready to take the next big step. She decided to visit a mosque, and the rest is history. But of course, no journey is without its struggles. But she had one question that was bugging her, and the Imam answered that question in a practical way.
But the one question that I had that was bothering me, that was stuck with me, was how do I know that it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is the only one? And they didn't give me any long list of what I can do. They gave me this task to do, which was to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala myself, to speak to Him as if I'm a friend, to connect with Him, to give Him all of my troubles, all of my happiness, and I'll find Him.
Like a chosen few, she found her way to Islam despite being a polytheist. To show you the effort behind her decision for Allah's will to let her follow Islam, here's an example of Brother Sajid, who came across a pagan witch and told her about Islam.
One thing that's special about the human being is that Allah gave us the freedom to make our own choices. Allah tells us, and say, the truth is from your Lord, so whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. When I was in college, I had a classmate, and she was a witch. She practiced a pagan religion called Wicca, and she loved things that were dark and gloomy and evil and spooky. And when I told her about Islam, she said that she believed that it was the truth. She believed that Prophet Muhammad must have been a prophet, that the Quran was from Allah. But she said she would rather go to the hellfire in the hereafter than to change. She said she loved the life of this world and the way that she lived too much to change. Allah tells us, those are the ones who have bought the life of this world in exchange for the hereafter. So the punishment will not be lightened for them, nor will they be aided. Brothers and sisters, understand, some people, they knowingly choose misguidance. They choose evil over that which is good. They choose falsehood over the truth. Make sure that you make the right decision and choose the hereafter.
The witch's decision to go to hell rather than accept Islam is a clear example of the heart being blind. She knew the severity of what she had been practicing, but chose to stay on that path. It is indeed an important reminder that many disbelievers stay ignorant even after knowing the reality. And that is what ultimately costs them their hereafter. But what if someone does want to change? What if they've been involved in some dark stuff, like witchcraft, but they want to leave it behind?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Absolutely. Of course, the doors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness are never closed. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. Allah forgives all sins. Matter of fact, Allah is looking for those moments where you admit that you have wronged Him, then you turn to Him, you repent to Him, acknowledging that there is a higher being. قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. O my slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O my slaves who have wronged themselves, in other words, they have committed many sins. لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Never lose hope in the rahmah and the mercy of Allah. إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. Allah forgives all sins. So never doubt the fact that the doors of forgiveness are always open.
The brother in the video sums it up beautifully, revealing how Allah's doors of forgiveness are always open for those who sincerely repent for their sins and realize their mistakes. He emphasizes how it is never too late for you to restart your life in the way of Allah.